We all get busy, and sometimes it's easier to overlook and turn a blind eye to little misbehaviors from toddlers. If you do this routinely, you can pay for it in the end. I want to welcome our good friend Belinda Palacios, our parenting contributor, and there is a lot to talk about. And at this point, where do we start?
Well, you know, we usually talk about teens and tweens, and I thought we'd mix it up and talk about the younger kids because, you know, we can get into a rut because we're very, very busy. We're trying to get kids fed, clothed, out the door in the mornings, trying to get them to, you know, just do whatever needs to be done on that basic level, that sometimes you'll just kind of, it's like easier to go, okay, and ignore some things, but if you get in the habit of it, it can become a big issue.
So we're going to do 6. We're going to start out number 1, and this is something all parents, those little white lies.
Those little white lies, because what that does is it will teach a child that they don't have to be honest, and it can become a habit. And so to where, you know, when you're asking them to clarify something or to tell you whatever, you know, if they have an inkling that it may not be the answer that you want, they'll start drifting in a different direction than what the truth is. You want to make sure that you want to hear the truth no matter what.
Okay.
Honesty is what's important.
All right, very good. What is our next step?
Ignoring. You know, when you're talking to your child, especially those younger kids, when they just kind of ignore you and go on about their business, you know, when you're really busy and in the throw of something, it's kind of easy to just ignore it back. Don't. You know, make them know that you're talking to them, that what your expectation is for you to follow it. And because they will get in the habit of ignoring you, because if they don't want to do something, they'll just kind of trot off, and then you're teaching them that you don't mean what you say.
Oh, there are footsteps behind them when that happens,
exactly,
for sure. And there needs to be. Okay, the next one, intentionally hurting others.
Right.
Start looking for that.
Right, and you know, if your kids are biting or hitting or shoving, you really need to intervene with that. You need to let them know that any kind of physical harm or any kind of hurt to somebody else is not okay. And this goes for the verbal things as well. But really, because when you've got those little ones that are toddler and those preschool ages, sometimes that's how they are expressing how they feel.
Right.
So parents being able to help them to express what those feelings actually are and give them the words that they need to express it is what's going to be important. Especially
if you have little siblings that are close in age. That's something that we see a lot and have to get right in the middle of. Talk about running away from others. You know, that could be a safety issue. A big, big safety issue is when kids are just darting out and running around, because first of all, if it's traffic or if there's something going on to where they could really get hurt, that is one issue. But then it only takes the blink of an eye for your kid to disappear. And I think, and this is just an example, but Bodie Miller, you know, their little one, in the blink of an eye, got away from them, you know, took off, and the next thing you know, he's fallen into a pool and drowned. And so that is a huge safety issue. So you want to make sure that those kids know what the boundaries are and that you expect them to stay within those boundaries. Okay, finally, interrupting others. Yes. And you know, little ones will do that because they have a hard time, you know, being patient. And so you have to really teach wait your turn. So when little ones are beginning to talk while you're talking to somebody else or on the phone or what have you, you need to let them know that I'm talking right now, and tell them to hold on. And then, but as soon as you're done, then provide them with your attention for what they want. Very good. All right, we've got a little family coaching tip for you, a little observance. What do you have for us? Well, just look and see if your kids are doing some of these things. You know, and if they are, start to address it head on and make some of the interventions that are going to help stop that. Don't let it continue on, because the longer it goes, the harder it is to quell that. As we go into break, I want to tell you a parenting thing that happened recently, our teaching lesson, saying, "Mom, Mom," like from across the room. They're just yelling it out. So Dad had to go in and say, "Honey, if you want Mom, you walk to Mom and you say Mom.
That's
Don't
right.
scream at the top of your lungs."
Right.
Parenting. I wish there was a manual. We're trying to figure it out the best we can.
Mine used to yell from upstairs.
Mom!
Yeah.
Coming up next, we've got news and weather headlines. Don't go anywhere.